everybody, welcome to another episode of Widgets and Wonders, my weekly show about great products from small companies. Now today, we're gonna take a look at some new gaming mats from GameMat.eu. We've got 3 new styles, the Winter Realm, the Imperial Base, and a larger format version of the Wasteland Mat. So these are NeoPrene gaming mats. I think they're 2 or 3 millimeter in the sort of standard, currently popular formats. 2 of them are sort of, 3 of them actually are sort of fantasy based. And then we've got 2 different sizes of the Imperial Base mat, which is a nice clean looking tech mat, and a large Wasteland mat, which is 6x4 as well. So let's take a look at them right now. So here are the 3 sizes of Winter Realm mat. There is a 3x3, which you can see here. This one is going to be perfect for me to play Frostgrave on. So that's my plan for this one. I'm actually filming some Frostgrave games this week, even more Frostgrave games, and they're gonna take place on this mat. I'm doing Hunt the Golem with my buddy Ben, who's coming down from Montreal. I haven't seen him in a long time, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'll do my usual MO here. I'll roll them up so you can see them. And then cut from that, we've got, a 4x4, and you guys have actually already seen me play some games on this. This one right here is the most recent Mordham games I've been doing in wintertime have been filmed on this one. So it is a perfect size for Mordheim. You could also play, War Machine on this, and actually, in some future Widgets and Wonders, I'll be spoiling some unreleased 2D terrain accessories that GameMat is doing that are perfect for this mat. They're designed to go on this mat for playing some War Machine Hordes. The 3x3, actually, I should probably mention, it would also be perfect for Guild Ball, and those same accessories would work great for Guild Ball on that mat. Because 3x3 is, of course, the standard Guild Ball pitch style. So if you wanted to play it on there, you could. And then we have, once again, we'll just make this one go away, a 6x4 with, once again, the same pattern of sort of just barely exposed roads and stuff like that. And then this is the one I'll actually zoom in so you can see some of the surface detail. It's got some sort of like, I guess, exposed scrub. If you ever grew up in farm country or you spent some time in farm country, you'll have seen this poking through the snow, the longer grasses and stuff poking through the snow. It's the usual quality level that GameMat puts out, so you got a nice sort of I put it like fineness in the detail. Even if you zoom in real close, you're not going to see any pixelization really until you get to the actual grain of the mat itself. So the only sort of like pixelization in the detail is the fabric, which is of course unavoidable because you're printing on neoprene, you're printing on fabric anyway. And once you're that close, you're like face down on the actual mat anyway, so you're never gonna see it. So nice fine quality, cool details, and an overall sort of nice addition to their sort of fantasy line. They have a nice grass version of this too that you've seen on my channel before. Which is like a sort of cobbled roads one, and this is sort of a winterized version of that. So let's take a look at Imperial Base. All right, so here's the new industrial mat. So this is the Imperial Base from GameMat.eu. Now, you'll notice, first of all, it comes in a nice sort of interesting blue tone. A lot of tech mats I've seen are just in like a cold gray, and I kind of like this. It looks pretty high tech, and it doesn't have a lot of gothiciness to it. So while this is obviously super usable in 40K, I think it's going to be great too for Infinity. And the cuts too, it's a 4x4 and a 6x4 cut size for this mat. It's designed for either being used for 4x4 games like Kill Team or Infinity, or 6x4 for 40K as well, larger scale sci-fi games. It would probably work great for Beyond the Gates of Antares as well, any sort of like more modern-y sci-fi kind of systems. And it has some really nice detail to it. So you've got, I'll just zoom in here for you. I got the 4x4 laid down here, but you can see some of the details on it. You've got no roads, but you do have some sort of platformy things that you can put buildings on. I think my colony buildings, my 40K colony buildings, the unreleased hardform stuff would have looked really good on these, as well, of course, as my my Infinity Terrain collection. I think it's gonna look really sharp on it too. But you could also kind of like tech it down too. I think it'll look good for Dark Age, with some sort of more ruined techie buildings kind of on it. And like most GameMat stuff, nice fine quality to the actual details. You don't start to get any kind of blurring of the details until you get to the actual fabric of the mat, which is on the highest possible basically detail that you can have. And then the 6x4 cut of this, as I just roll this up and I'll take it away. You can see here too, it's more platforms, some extruded sort of like pipe work and stuff too, and then some colored sort of hazard striping. I appreciate that they didn't do yellow and black. I like the red and white. I think it's really sharp. It's a good color choice because it's sort of, it warms up the blue tones that are all through here. And I think it looks really, really good. So the 4x4 is taken off now. I'll just pan back so you guys can see the actual like 6-foot cut as well. And it's pretty similar to the 4-foot one. You've got this sort of like central zone over here. And then you've got all the way across some sort of like hab platforms with some sort of girdery stuff in the middle. Really, really sharp. Now, I do wish there was a 3x3 for this. I can totally understand why they only did 6x4 and 4x4 to start off with. Those are the two more popular sizes for this kind of mat. But with like Rogue Stars, with Scrappers coming out, the kitchen table sci-fi is starting to make itself known. Most kitchen table games right now are either modern or sort of like Old West fantasy weird sort of stuff. There's not a lot of like high sci-fi in the kitchen table department for 3x3 mats, but I think that's on its way in the near future. So I'm hoping there'll be a 3x3 mat. I hope there's demand for it and we see one of those in the future. And here's the new Wasteland Mat with the old Wasteland Mat on top of it. Now you've seen this 3x3 Wasteland Mat before. I've used it for lots of different games. I've used it for Frostgrave. I've used it for, I've used it for Marvel. I've used it for I've used it for Rogue Stars. It's a wonderfully versatile mat because it's just a wasteland. It's cracked ground, lots of rocks, lots of just sort of like destroyed rubble. And now that I have an option of it in a larger format, so 6x4 here, which I will now roll this up because this is one you've seen before. You can see I can do some bigger games. This will be great for 40K. I think it'll be great for This Is Not a Test as well, because obviously it's a wasteland and there's a wasteland in This Is Not a Test. But just like any type of, like even Age of Sigmar, anytime you're looking for just a completely like blasted sort of like tablescape, I think this is just perfect because you've got this sort of cracked ground, you've got lots and lots of like rock piles and stuff, and the tone is wonderfully neutral. So it really doesn't matter what kind of terrain you put on here. I think my Rogue Stars Let's Play on the 3x3 for this kind of really showed off the versatility of this mat because we had a lot of like colony buildings and like sort of brightly colored stuff on here, and just the perfectly neutral, almost like sepia tone, because it looks like an old photograph, doesn't it? It looks kind of like an old, like oldie-timey Old West photograph. Made all of the models and all of the stuff on it really pop. So great stuff. It's really nice to have it in a 6x4. This will definitely get used for a lot of post-apocalyptic games. I think you'll definitely see some This Is Not a Test filmed on here because this is a like great, just like post-nuclear blasted wasteland. It doesn't look like a desert because like the problem with having it look like always like a desert is a nuclear wasteland in like North Virginia wouldn't be a desert necessarily. It would be more like this. It would be more like just like a moonscape almost without the craters. So I'm excited about that. It's a great looking mat, and having it in a big format now is super cool. So there we go, some new sizes and styles of gaming mat from GameMat.eu. Now if you want to check them out, I'll link everything in the video description below so you can see it. Some more stuff coming up from GameMat. Next week you're going to see some new pre-painted terrain sets from them, and the week after I'll be doing some sneak peeks into some 2D terrain sets that are available for a variety of different games, used for War Machine, used for things like Guild Ball and all kinds of other stuff too. So stay tuned for those. Until then, I'll see you. And now if you know of a great product from a small company that deserves more attention, you can have them email me at growminiaturegames@gmail.com or Facebook message me at facebook.com/outofthebasement-into-the-streets, and I'll do my best to put it in front of as many people as possible. So we'll see you next weekend for more. Until then, I'm Ash. Happy gaming.